Hi, I'm George, TSG's ActiveWizard Product Manager. In this short demo, I'm going to overview the ActiveApprove module of ActiveWizard. Now, if you haven't already, take a look at some of the previous demos in this series. In the ActiveForm demo, we created this form. In the ActiveWorkflow demo, we assigned the approvers. And in the Route for Review demo, we took a look at routing the form for review. In this demo, we're going to take a look at routing the form for approval. So I have an action here to start the approval workflow. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. So it's going to ask me, do I want to start the route? I'm going to say yes. And once the route starts, we're going to see the status go from draft to pending approval. So we'll see that over here on the attributes, but we also see it here on the overlay as well, that this is now a pending approval form. Now my user has a couple of special options here. Since I started the route, I have the option to cancel it if I wanted to stop the route. But I'm also in a special group that gives me the ability to reassign a task. So this first task is going to the initial QA role to QDadmin3, but I could say type in QDadmin2 and reassign this task to that user if I wanted to. I'm just going to leave it how it is though and continue on. So I have this user's email coming to my inbox. So I'm going to jump over to my email and I see I have a task that went to the QDadmin2 user, or sorry, QDadmin3 user. And I have a link that will jump me right to my task. So go ahead and click on the link and log in as QDadmin3. And once you log in, taken right to the task. It's actually the stage tour, which this user hasn't accessed the stage in this environment. So I'll just quickly step through the tour. So now I can see a few things with this. First of all, since it is a pending approval form, I no longer have the ability to edit the form. This is something we can configure based on the security in the repository, but most of our clients don't want any edits to happen during the approval route. We can also see a few other options in here. I can delegate my task. This user also is in special groups to allow them to cancel and reassign. But this delegate allows you to delegate your task to another user. So if I delegate my task to Ben, it would send the task to his inbox. Now, in a reject scenario, I would use OpenAnnotate to annotate this form and write some comments on it. In this case, in the interest of time, I'm just going to do approvals, but that's kind of how you would send feedback back to the initiator if you did want to do a reject. So I'm just going to click this complete wizard approval, and I have my option to either complete with an approval or reject. Reject by default will show comments, although you can take that out. And approve does not allow comments. And again, that's something you can configure to allow comments if you want. Now we ask for a username and password here to comply with e-signature requirements. So I'm just going to enter the user's username and password and go ahead and submit. And that's going to complete my task. So now it's going to go to the next task. And real quickly here, I'll just show that if we look at this form, a signature page has been added to the form. So I can see the signature date, the user, and the role that user signed off on. So this should have went to Alice, and Alice will get an email as well. So let's jump over here, and we can take a look at Alice's email. And so this is the email that went to a Beecher user. Go ahead and click it. Log in as Alice, and again, taken right to the form. And she could have also come to her dashboard and seen this task as well. So it's just another way to get there. And Alice could, of course, delegate her task, make comments, and reject. But in the interest of time, I'm just going to go ahead and approve. Before I do that, though, take a look at this workflow status action here, and we can quickly see, and anyone who has access to the form can see this, basically a quick view of which approvers had approved and which approvers are still pending on the route. I'm going to go ahead and approve as this user. And since this is the last approver, when I go ahead and submit here, um, it's actually going to finish the route. So the form is going to go from a status of pending approval to approved. We're going to major version the form to a 1.0 version. And we can also see that this signature page was updated with Alice's signature. So now if we jump back to my email, my user got an email saying that the form has been finished. And again, I can click on the email link and jump right back into the form. And now from this point, I can view the signature page. I can also look at the audit history. So I did start some and abort some routes before this demo, so we're seeing those audits in here as well. But right here, I can see each user approve on what date in what role. One other common action here that some clients use is the concept of a close. So really all this does is promote it to a closed state. You'll notice here that the form is not editable. And a lot of times it's because this form is telling the user to do something, and then once it's physically done, a client will come in here and actually close. So let's say this was a document change form, and we can say document has been changed and submit, and then it'll go from a approved state to a closed state. Well, that's it for this demo. Thanks for watching. For more information, check out our website at tsgrp.com.